So I've been meaning to make an updated video in regards to what's happening with our public lands ever since I posted the first video back on February 21st, but it kind of feels like every time I sit down to film an update, something else happens and then my update is outdated. So this is an update on what's happening to our public lands as of April 25th. If you're new here, hey, my name is Alana, and I've been living nomadically out of my Honda Accord for over 3 years now, and during that time I've had the chance to work seasonal jobs alongside the National Forest and the National Park systems. So not only am I a person who enjoys being in the outdoors, I've worked in the outdoors and I have friends who are still working in the outdoors, so this is a very important topic to me personally. So if you watched the first video, if you remember, I mentioned a woman named Kathleen Sgama. She is the president of the Western Energy Alliance, which is an association of independent natural gas and oil companies that have interest in drilling on our public lands. So she was nominated to be the head of the BLM lands in the United States by our president. However, on April 10th, she actually withdrew her name from this nomination. So she no longer wants to be in charge of all of the Bureau of Land Management lands, which is interesting because if she was in charge of it, she could definitely, do things. But I kind of have a feeling that it's everybody speaking out against this, against the conflict of interest of having a natural gas and oil company president be in charge of our public lands. I feel like people speaking up, even if it didn't change anything big, like it made her personally feel bad and was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna withdraw my name. Like she withdrew her own name. She didn't give a reason, but I'm just speculating. However, with that also means that now the new administration gets to nominate someone else to be in charge of the Bureau of Land Management lands, and who knows what they could have their hands in on the side, so keep your eyes out. Another really important thing that's happening that I want to bring your attention to in this video is in March 2025, a guy named Tom Schultz took office as the 21st chief of the United States National Forest Services. And he sounds like a good fit, like he has experience with Montana's Department of Natural Resources, and he also served as the director of Idaho's Department of Public Land. But also in his history is being president of an Idaho forest group, which is a family-owned company, which is one of the largest lumber producers in the nation. Lumber producer in charge of the United States Forest Service. Now, could it just be a coincidence that someone who has experience as being the president of a large lumber company is being put in charge of our national forest? Sure, could totally just be coincidence. And do we need lumber in today's society for a variety of different things? Yes! Can we continue to source lumber responsibly and also make it known that us as American people value our public lands and natural resources for recreating more than we value it just for a profit? Lastly, the third big thing that I want to bring to your attention in this video, and maybe you've already heard about it, but there was an internal document that was leaked from the Department of Interior on Earth Day, mind you, and I will link the entire document down below, but basically it's a strategic plan for our public lands beginning in 2026. And although this plan is just a draft, simply put, it involves increasing revenue productions on our public lands by prioritizing monument rollbacks, meaning lands that are designated as national monuments will no longer be listed as national monuments, or their size will be greatly diminished, and they'll no longer be protected, and people can mine and drill and do whatever they want on them, I guess, for profit, because they're no longer public lands, they are privatized. And also in that document, they want to transfer federal lands to the states to make it easier to privatize and sell off the public lands. Now I'm going to type this on the screen in big bold letters as I read it to you, but privatization doesn't mean more resources for the United States of America. It means more resources for corporations to sell back to you, even though it's already yours to begin with as it stands on your public lands. So while I would encourage you to not obsess over this issue to the point where it is a detriment to your mental health, sometimes I get there and I have to take a step back, I would urge you to continue taking this seriously. It's not going away. So if you hike, if you camp, if you hunt, if you fish, if you do anything on our public lands, use your voice right now. Because we can't just continue taking these lands for granted, especially van lifers who camp on public lands, like full time. No shade, but like, use your voice. So what do I mean when I say use your voice? I mean contacting your representatives and telling them that you want your public lands for recreation and not for privatization. But also, I want to bring your attention to one last thing that I'm personally really passionate about and is also coming up right now and relates to our public lands and the seasonal jobs that I have worked in the past on our public land. So Americorps is the federal agency for national service and volunteerism that provides opportunities for Americans of all backgrounds to serve their country, address the nation's most pressing challenges, and improve lives and communities. In addition to after-school programs, disaster relief cleanup, and veteran assistance programs, Americorps has environmental stewardships, specifically focusing on improving forest resilience, maintaining hiking trails, managing wildlife habitats, supporting conservation needs, and protecting species and their habitats. Now, why am I bringing up Americorps in this public lands video? Like, yes, I'm acknowledging that Americorps does many, many other things besides just helping out on our public lands, but why am I bringing it up specifically? Well, the current administration placed the majority of Americorps employees on leave last week as part of DOJ's broader spending cuts. Lawmakers have written that they are deeply concerned that these actions will prevent the agency from continuing to deliver critical services, which include supporting veterans, fighting wildfires, tutoring in schools, combating the fentanyl epidemic, and so much more. Like, Americorps does so many things, not just helping out on our public lands. However, I personally have worked with Americorps in the past on some of their specifically environmental stewardship programs, and not only do these programs have a positive impact on the environment, it also has a positive impact on the people who work in Americorps. Because these Americorps programs act as stepping stones to help you get your foot in the door and get experience while working towards your dream job. So in this instance, like for me, like I really love doing trail maintenance work with Americorps and Conservation Legacy, because then later in life, maybe I could get a job working for the Forest Service or working for the National Park Service, if there's any jobs left then. Like, Americorps helps people not only have a job right now, but it helps them build skills and get certifications and experience to move forward in life. Like, these programs are so much more than just a silly 4-month forest job. Like, it's personal growth and like helping Americans develop skills that maybe you can't afford to go to college, but you still want to learn. Like, this is a really good way to learn. And a study in 2020 found that for every $1 that Congress appropriates to Americorps, they return over $17 worth in benefits to society, program members, and the government. Go to voteforservice.org to tell our members of Congress to protect Americorps as a program, because it helps protect both our public lands and it also helps serve our communities and helps Americans grow skills to become better people. Like, why would you cut that? Are you stupid? I'm sorry. If you're still here, I just want to thank you for watching this video. As you can tell, this is a topic that I'm very passionate about, and it warms my heart that I am finding like similar like-minded people through sharing these videos who also are passionate about this topic, so thank you. If you haven't noticed or you're new around here, I'm switching from posting every single week to just 2 to 3 times a month, mostly just to protect my sanity, because what the heck is going on right now? I just think it's easier for me to create better quality things if I'm not rushing myself on it. So that's what I'm doing. If you haven't heard, I just launched a new podcast called Roby Rambles. The first 2 episodes are already up on YouTube, and the next YouTube video that I post will be episode 3. So if you've missed those, go back and catch up. I will link them down in the description. And then episode 3 will be out next week, and we are talking about what does it actually mean to live luxuriously.